Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is, well, it's about getting immediate clarity on what's happening inside Russia.
Exactly.
We're steering clear of the external conflicts for this one. Instead, we're zeroing in on some really revealing internal challenges, things that give you a much clearer picture of the nation's state right now.
That's right. And we've picked out 3 key areas. They might seem, unconnected at first glance.
Like what?
Well, you've got these worsening natural disasters. Then there are the struggles in their core economic engine oil and also this big push for tech independence.
Okay.
But when you put them together, you start to see this interconnected web of pressures, vulnerabilities. This isn't just listing facts. Think of it as an executive brief. What does it all actually mean?
Right. And we've got a solid stack of current sources lined up. The goal here is to really unpack what's happening on the ground, find those surprising details, and basically give you a shortcut to getting up to speed on all this complex stuff. Okay, let's dive in. First up, these natural disasters. It feels like they're getting worse across Russia, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The frequency, the severity, seasonal floods, wildfires. It's been escalating in recent years.
And this year already, something like 12 regions hit by major flooding.
That's the report, yeah. And look at the Chelyabinsk region, specifically Ishim City.
They're expecting the usual floods, again, mid-April, right?
Correct. And residents are already being told, move your stuff from the garden plots. They're going under.
And the local authorities, they're building temporary defenses, earthen walls.
They're trying, building these embankments. And the mayor, Fyodor Shishkin, he's warned people, look, don't get complacent. He said they expect a very high water level.
But here's where it gets, well, unusual.
You mean the response in Ishim?
Yeah, the priests.
Right. Russian Orthodox priests actually did a prayer service from a plane, flying over the city with icons.
To protect it from the flood.
That's what Bishop Tikhon described, hoping the Lord will have mercy. It's quite an image, isn't it?
It really is. Priests in the sky.
And it kind of highlights this reliance on, well, maybe spiritual help when the practical side seems lacking.
Which seems to be a pattern. Despite past events, officials often seem unprepared.
Ill-prepared, exactly.
Yeah.
And then to handle the public anger, what do? They often downplay the damage or, point fingers at Moscow.
Like what happened in Orenburg last spring. That flooding was catastrophic.
The prime example.
Initially, officials there insisted 0 fatalities. 0.
Even though independent journalists were confirming deaths, right? At least 7 initially.
Exactly. Then the Emergencies Ministry finally confirmed 15 deaths. Over 300,000 people affected, nearly 18,000 rescued. Big numbers.
Huge impact. But then,
and get that official confirmation, it was permanently deleted from the ministry's website.
Permanently?
Right after the independent media reported it widely.
Oh, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Just erase the official record.
And now Orenburg is apparently bracing for new floods, and people in Orsk, which got hammered last year, are saying the dam still isn't ready.
It's not just Orenburg either. We see similar things elsewhere.
Like in Sverdlovsk.
Yes, Sverdlovsk region. Officials actually banned the press from public hearings about disaster preparedness.
And wasn't that where firefighters went on strike last year?
That's the one. Right in the middle of wildfire season. They were protesting low pay, awful conditions, not enough equipment. I mean, basic stuff.
Unbelievable. And
Irkutsk region, yeah. A village called Komutovo was apparently underwater within an hour.
An hour.
That's what was reported. And the local leader, Alexander Ivanenko, he publicly blamed Moscow, said they didn't get federal funds for drainage.
But the governor...
Governor Igor Kobzev, he just assured everyone the situation was, quote, stable.
Stable. While a village is submerged.
The disconnect is stark. And then you had Chelyabinsk. 70 people evacuated in Asha due to floods.
And the reaction online?
Public backlash, yeah. Someone on VKontakte had basically said, first officials claim errors, now it's stable. It sounds like you just pocketed the money, accusing them outright of corruption.
So it's not just bad luck with the weather?
No, not at all. These are clear patterns, systemic problems in how they manage disasters, transparency, accountability, all made worse by this, uptick in extreme weather.
Okay, so that's the environmental front, the immediate human cost.
Right.
Let's pivot to the economy, specifically the oil sector, because this is where it gets really interesting.
The lifeblood of the economy.
Exactly. And new reports, particularly from the International Energy Agency, the IEA, they're casting some serious doubt here.
Doubts about what, specifically?
About Russia's ability to keep its oil production up. And, crucially, to restore it if needed.
Ah, okay. So capacity issues.
Right. The IEA says output and exports are still falling. Pressure from sanctions, lack of investment, Western companies pulling out. It's all adding up.
Do they have numbers on that?
Yeah, the June data showed daily oil shipments around 4.68 million barrels. And total crude and condensate production at 9.19 million barrels per day.
Okay, 9.19 million BPD. Now let's put that in context.
Go ahead.
Before the pandemic, Russia was pumping around 11, maybe 11.2 million barrels per day. Big difference.
Huge.
And even their current estimated capacity is thought to be higher, around 9.8 million BPD. So they're running significantly below even that potential.
So the IEA figures suggest, what, a drop of about 1.3 million barrels per day since 2022?
Roughly, yes. And here's a key piece. Remember that big output cut they agreed back in 2020? About 2 million barrels per day.
Vaguely, yeah.
Well, the IEA says it was never fully reversed. Why? Because a lot of those wells, they just didn't restart properly, even when they had Western tech.
So the wells themselves might be compromised.
That seems to be the implication. There's an economist, Robin Brooks, who put it quite bluntly. He said, if Putin now cuts production, he gets to find out just what a mess his crappy oil wells are without Western technology.
Oof, that's stark.
It points to real structural damage. From the sanctions, the tech isolation, it's not just a surface issue.
And complicating all this analysis
is the lack of official data.
Right.
Russia hasn't published official production or export numbers since the full-scale invasion began in Feb 2022.
Which raises a big question, doesn't it? How does this secrecy affect, well, everyone else's understanding of the global energy market? And maybe even Russia's own internal planning?
It's a critical question. Is it just about controlling the narrative externally? Or does it maybe also hint at degraded internal assessment capabilities?
Meaning they might not have a totally clear picture themselves.
It's possible. I mean, if you can't reliably restart wells or maintain output, maybe your internal monitoring isn't what it used to be either.
Yeah.
And making big strategic decisions with incomplete data, that's inherently risky.
A strategic disadvantage, definitely. So this really hits the financial backbone, their ability to weather these pressures.
It certainly puts a strain on it.
Which brings us to the third area, this push for, let's call it digital sovereignty, getting technologically self-sufficient.
Especially in software, yeah.
Right, and it's even playing out in schools now. There's this major industry group, Domestic Software, represents over 300 IT firms. They're pushing hard to ban Microsoft Windows for school exams.
Ban Windows for exams?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Well, here's the conflict. The federal education watchdog, Rosobrnadzor, apparently directed that the big university entrance exam, the Unified State exam, has to be done only on Windows.
Oh, wait, only on Windows? But doesn't that clash with other rules?
Exactly. It directly violates a presidential decree that's supposed to kick in January 2025, banning foreign software in government institutions and their contractors, which includes schools running exams, presumably.
So an internal policy clash stemming from this larger push for self-reliance.
Seems like that.
And that whole campaign, replacing foreign software in schools, that started back in 2023, didn't it?
Yeah, right after Microsoft and others pulled their licenses because of sanctions.
So it's a direct reaction to geopolitical pressure. They want to switch everything over to Russian systems, Astra Linux, R80OS, OLT Linux, ROS-AOS.
And Russian Office software too, right? Like R7 Office, My Office.
That's the plan. It's fundamentally about, securing critical infrastructure, reducing dependency, national independence in the digital realm.
But the reality on the ground seems a bit different from the plan.
How so?
Well, the education minister, Sergei Kravtsov, he declared the transition was fully done back in September 2023.
Declared it done.
But then reports from just this August 2024 showed only about 60% of schools and universities had actually made the switch.
Only 60%, so nearly a year after it was declared done.
Yep. And now the estimate is it'll take several more years for a full shift.
Wow. That's quite a gap between the official announcement and the reality. You can imagine the practical headaches.
For teachers, for students, trying to use unfamiliar systems for crucial exams.
Absolutely. The practical challenges of a massive shift like this are huge, and now there are new rules coming too.
Restricting foreign software purchases.
Right, and offering incentives to buy Russian. Plus, starting September 1st, a new law says any software used in critical infrastructure, which includes education, must be on this official registry run by the Digital Development Ministry. Only Russian software, essentially.
So they're doubling down on the policy.
They are. The strategic goal, digital sovereignty, is clear. But the implementation, The timeline, the actual switchover, it shows just how complex and, frankly, difficult this whole pivot is proving to be.
So let's pull these threads together. What we've really unpacked today isn't just, a list of problems. It feels more like a blueprint of a nation facing some serious internal erosion.
That's one way to put it.
We've got Russia dealing with worsening natural disasters, often with responses that seem inadequate, opaque.
Reactive, not proactive.
Right. Then, structural weaknesses hitting its core economic engine, oil, partly because of this technological isolation.
Declining capacity, yeah.
And finally, this really ambitious but clearly struggling effort to achieve digital self-reliance, even down to the school level.
It's true. These things, the environmental fragility, the economic strain, the tech independence struggle, they're not separate issues. They really do highlight a broader set of systemic challenges.
Vulnerabilities.
They're interconnected.
Definitely interconnected. Each one feeds into the others, creating this cumulative pressure.
Okay, so here's the final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. When you consider the scale of all these repeated disaster response failures, the clear structural issues in oil production, the massive hurdles they face in just trying to switch operating systems.
All happening simultaneously.
Right. How might these cumulative internal pressures start to reshape Russia's longer-term strategic position, its capabilities, its actual influence on the world stage? What does all this domestic reality mean for the global power dynamic going forward?